So you have some extra cash and are looking to buy some new Nintendo Switch games. You don't really watch reviews on games, but you judge them based off the trailer, the box art, and maybe even previous entries. That should be enough, right? Right? Wrong! While sometimes a game's marketing can seem promising, the games aren't always as good as they seemed at first glance. I'm Jake Kent, coming to you with Animated Apparel, and if you want to check out some awesome officially licensed Nintendo clothing, make sure to check out our link in the description, and even use code JAKE for 20% off of your order. The Nintendo Switch has so many games ranging in so many genres, guaranteeing almost every player will find a style of game for themselves. The Nintendo Switch also has not so good games, with some being super easy to identify, and others being not so easy. Today, we're going to talk about Nintendo Switch games that I regret buying. A little warning, some of these games are very adult-oriented, but I'm going to try my best to keep this video suitable for all ages. I'm going to focus on Nintendo Switch games I actually expected to be a decent buy. If I expected the game to be garbage from the start, I can't really regret my purchase or be disappointed. Also, I do not own every Nintendo Switch game. Obviously. If I didn't mention a certain game, chances are I have yet to play it, so feel free to bring it to my attention in the comments down below. Not all of these Nintendo Switch games are bad, I just regret purchasing all of them, meaning they may not have lived up to my expectation. The Nintendo Switch is home to so many indie titles, and upon its launch, we didn't have a whole lot of AAA games. So it left many users like me to purchase indie games. One of the earliest indie games was Goner, releasing just a couple of months into the Nintendo Switch's life. This game seemed to have a huge following. I mean, it did good enough to warrant a sequel. People wanted more of this? Goner is a roguelike game where different heads and limbs can be unlocked over multiple playthroughs, causing bullets to be larger, resulting in faster shooting and new abilities. There are 4 worlds in Goner, where the player progresses to the next one by killing the current world's boss. The game's art style is unique, and it was a good time waster for me. My biggest issue with this game was that it had so much character, yet no character at the same time. You can't bond with your character, grow a true hate for the enemies. Although I didn't play enough to make it super far, the game seemed to get really repetitive really fast. While there were unique bosses, the world was too simplistic for me, and in the end it just made it feel like I was doing the same thing over and over, just on a different playing field, which looked the exact same as the last one, but with a different layout. If you were interested in buying Goner, and I may have persuaded you to second guess yourself, I recommend checking out Cave Story. If you are not yet familiar with it, it has a similar gameplay style, but is so much more forgiving, captivating, and story-based. I've been playing Cave Story on different devices since 2011, and it's definitely passed the test of time, being memorable as ever. Alright, next up we have Radiation Island. Is this a Dead Island knockoff? I mean, it's a zombie game with island in the name. Actually, no. Yes? Maybe? The best way for me to explain this is, it is kinda like if Minecraft and Dead Island had a baby. Wow, that sounds fun! Yeah, it wasn't. Radiation Island is a zombie survival adventure game where you craft items in an open world environment. Wait, it's a mobile game that costs over triple the price on Switch? That explains why the graphics are so bad. As a mobile game, they might actually be okay. Instead of playing Radiation Island, just play Minecraft. Everybody knows exactly what to expect from Minecraft. Adventure Time? So I'm a huge fan of Adventure Time, and while most of the video game tie-ins aren't the best games, I actually quite enjoy all of them. Especially Finn and Jake Investigations, having beautiful graphics and feeling like a point-and-click inspired Adventure Time game with puzzle-solving elements. I can't say the same about the Adventure Time game on the Switch. I was so excited for Adventure Time Pirates of the Enchiridion. All of the gameplay I saw before its release, and the trailer built up so much anticipation for me. I pre-ordered this game as soon as I could, And then the game ended up being a buggy mess, having mediocre visuals, empty worlds, and just being so repetitive and boring, with me fighting the same enemies over and over till I got bored and just ran for my life. Like, seriously, who made this? Outright Games? Why does that sound familiar? Oh god, no! The gameplay was kind of open world, then it had these weird investigation sections, then it was a turn-based RPG. I'm not sure this game even knew what it was going for. The game actually had super bad reception, which I guess is expected. I almost wish I would have picked this up on a different console for better performance, but I heard the game was just a bad experience all around. The game felt like Outright Games truly wanted it to be something special, even including the original voice cast.
Get out of here!
Check it out! It's Choose Goose!
Welcome, guys. I'm always selling, but where I get my goods, I'm not telling.
But it really just missed the mark, most likely due to this only being their third released title, and the company just being founded 2 years prior to its release. It's hard to recommend an alternative title for this game just because of how all over the place it was, but if you want a solid 3D platformer, you can't really go wrong with Mario Odyssey or Yooka-Laylee. And if you liked the turn-based RPG elements of the game, a safe choice would be to get Mario and Rabbids. ATV Drifts and Tricks. I'm not a huge four-wheeling or racing fan, but I used to play this game on the PS2, and it was so much fun, allowing the player to explore huge open-world environments. At least what felt like one at the time, with a free roam mode. Yeah, but this game is nothing like that. It's just linear racing on empty, boring tracks. This will be fun for about 5 minutes. Heck, you'll be lucky to finish your first race, and then you'll never touch the game again. There's literally nothing more to say. Instead of getting this game, the obvious alternative is to get Race with Ryan. Mario Kart! The obvious alternative is to get Mario Kart. I'm a huge fan of horror games. Heck, I could make a video showcasing nothing but my favorite horror games on the Nintendo Switch. But we'll save that for another day. About a week before filming this video, I saw Agony, a first-person survival horror set in hell, on sale on the eShop for only $2, normally $20. Remembering back to seeing the trailer years before, I couldn't help myself but purchase it. In my last video, I called Knockout City needlessly violent as a joke. I take that back. That was merely a joke. This game, oh ho ho, Agony. Agony is beyond needlessly violent and adult-oriented. I almost feel like that was this game's selling point, being definitely the most adult-oriented game I've ever seen. There were so many aspects in this game that were just taken too far that honestly didn't add anything but shock value to the game. The game had such bad voice acting and just felt like a giant repetitive maze, with the shock value only lasting so long until you become numb to it. And of course, almost no one thought this game was good. It had bad reviews all around. If you want a good horror game on the Nintendo Switch, play Slender, Eyes, Layers of Fears, Perception, Little Nightmares. Sonic the Hedgehog games seem to be hit or miss since the 2006 release of Sonic the Hedgehog, also known as Sonic 06. Before the release of the Nintendo Switch, we saw Sonic Rise of Lyric on the Wii U, which wasn't the greatest game. But the game did have some huge updates, and to be honest, if this game didn't have so many performance issues, I don't think it would have been that bad for a younger audience. With Sonic fans lacking hope for a good new Sonic game, Sonic Mania was released, which is actually a fan-made Sonic game that was collaborated on with Sega. And this game had great reviews and reminded people about how good classic Sonic games truly were. This game brought hope back into the Sonic fandom, but that hope didn't last long after the release of Sonic Forces. While the story to this game felt predictable and generic, definitely focusing towards younger children, this game actually had really well done cutscenes, and gameplay sections where you played as Sonic are actually really good. But what about when you don't play as Sonic? I mean, what is this nightmare fuel? That's not Sonic! I feel like this is some demon from Toontown staring into my soul. The non-Sonic gameplay goes downhill in my opinion by giving you the additional ability of a flamethrower? A flamethrower? This is Sonic, I gotta go fast! Not catch all the enemies on fire! Also, the enemies in this game, while they did keep the flow of things going in some segments, in others they just seem to slow the fast-paced gameplay down, and in some parts they were just too boring and repetitive. I mean, they don't move. They don't really care what you're doing. They're just kind of lifeless, like mannequins. My favorite part of this game, though, is the boss battles. They reminded me of the Super Bomberman R boss battles, taking classic gameplay but making it feel fresh and new. Although I did die more by running off the edge than I did the actual bosses. Lastly, I want to talk about Has-Been Heroes, and to be honest, I have no idea how to describe this game. According to its description, Has-Been Heroes is a game of strategy and action with a roguelike twist. The story for this game isn't much, it's basically just a joke. After years of peace, the king has one more quest for the toughest, bravest in all the kingdom. A quest of epic proportions. To take the twin princesses to school. Yeah, that's the story. Take the twin princesses to school. Yeah, I had trouble finding any enjoyment in this game, but I got my physical copy around launch for only $10. The gameplay is definitely original, and there's probably a good reason for that. It's super confusing and hard to pick up on. I don't think the gameplay's visuals are unique or interesting at all, and the cutscenes remind me of cutscenes in Dungeon Defenders or Heroes of Ruin. This game had mixed opinions, and most reviews gave it around an average score, saying it wasn't good, but it wasn't necessarily bad after you overcome the major learning curve. Once again, I can't really compare this to any other game, so just don't buy it. Unless it's only like $2 or something. Alright guys, and that's it for some of the Nintendo Switch games I regret buying. If you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and maybe even comment your most regretted Nintendo Switch purchase down in the comments below. Alright, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching.